Chapter 6. The moment Seojun was discharged, reality came crashing back in. Rest, apparently, was a luxury Eclipse couldn't afford. He returned straight to schedules, radio shows in the morning, then music shows until midnight, fan sign, and fan meetings squeezed in between. His members hovered like worried shadows, watching every move he made. "You collapse once and suddenly everyone thinks you're made of glass," Seojun muttered one evening as his manager scolded him for the third time that day. Jung didn't laugh. "You are made of glass right now. And you're pretending you're not cracked." The CEO himself called Seojun into the office. "You're an asset," the man said bluntly, steepling his fingers. "But you're also human. Collapse again and the company will be forced to intervene whether you like it or not." Seojun bowed his head. "I won't let it happen again." But promises were easy. Recovery was not. A week later, their comeback finally wrapped. The last broadcast ended past midnight. Everyone went home in exhausted silence, too tired even to complain. Seojun was halfway through reheating leftover ramen when the apartment door opened. Taehyung walked in slowly. He didn't take off his shoes. He didn't greet anyone. There was a dark bruise blooming beneath his cheekbone. Seojun was on his feet instantly. "Hyung, what happened to your face?" Taehyung paused, fingers still curled around the strap of his bag. "It's nothing," he said lightly. Seojun crossed the room in 3 strides. "That's not nothing. Did you fall?" Taehyung finally looked at him, and for just a split second something unreadable flickered in his eyes. "Just bumped into someone," he said with a small, almost tired smile. Seojun wasn't convinced. "You don't get bruises like that from bumping into people." Taehyung shrugged, trying to look unaffected. "It's fine," he said, a faint curve to his lips that didn't reach his eyes. "I deserved it anyway." Before Seojun could react, Taehyung turned the knob and slipped into his room, the door clicking shut behind him. The rare day off arrived like something unreal. No schedules. No cameras. No managers hovering outside doors. Seojun didn't even remember the last time they had been able to breathe in the same space without fear. Jinyoung had picked him up early in the morning, baseball cap pulled low, hands trembling slightly on the steering wheel. They didn't talk much on the way. They didn't need to. Jinyoung's apartment was quiet, curtains half drawn to keep the city out. The moment the door closed behind them, all the restraint of the past months collapsed. Seojun stepped closer, hesitant, like he was afraid the space between them might still be fragile. "Hyung, are we really okay?" he asked. Jinyoung cupped his face gently, thumb brushing beneath his tired eyes. "We will be. I promise." The kiss that followed wasn't desperate. It was slow, careful, as if they were relearning each other. Seojun melted into it, fingers gripping Jinyoung's shirt as months of loneliness finally loosened their hold on his chest. They ended up tangled together on the couch, then later in the bedroom, sharing warmth, tears, and whispered apologies that didn't need answers. It wasn't about passion as much as it was about finally being seen again. "I thought I was protecting you," Jinyoung murmured into Seojun's hair. "But I was only running away." Seojun tightened his arms around him. "I don't need you to be perfect. I just need you here." They lay there afterward, the city noise muffled, the world temporarily paused. "What if someday this comes out?" Seojun asked quietly. Jinyoung stared at the ceiling for a long moment before answering. "Then we deal with it together. Not today. Not now." Seojun turned toward him. "We support each other first. Careers, dreams, everything." Jinyoung smiled faintly. "We grow together, even if the world doesn't know yet." Seojun reached for his hand, lacing their fingers. "Then let's just enjoy this moment." And for the first time in months, they finally allowed themselves to believe that the future, whatever it held, didn't have to be faced alone. The kitchen smelled faintly of garlic and sesame oil, the soft hiss of the pan filling the quiet apartment. Seojun stood at the counter slicing vegetables, still in Jinyoung's oversized hoodie, sleeves slipping over his hands. Jinyoung hovered behind him, pretending to check the simmering pot while really just leaning in too close. Hyung, Seojun laughed softly, nudging him with his elbow. You're going to burn something. I'm supervising, Jinyoung replied, voice warm near his ear. You look like you're about to hurt yourself with that knife. Seojun shook his head, but he leaned back anyway, resting against Jinyoung's chest. Moments like this, quiet, domestic, ordinary, felt more precious to them than any date they could never go on in public. No disguises. No fear of cameras. Just them. Jinyoung brushed a kiss into Seojun's hair, then to his temple, unhurried. Seojun turned, their lips meeting briefly, laughter slipping between kisses as the timer on the stove beeped impatiently. They were mid-kiss when Seojun's phone vibrated on the counter. He groaned. Of course. He glanced at the caller ID and answered distractedly. Hello. His smile faded within seconds. The moment he answered, his expression changed, then completely lit up. Wait, really? He gasped. Best actor? You're serious? Jinyoung straightened instantly. Seojun listened, nodding again and again, eyes growing brighter with every word. And the second season? Seojun's voice rose an octave. They'll renew it if I reprise the role? Yes, of course I will. He ended the call and let out a sound halfway between a laugh and a squeal. Hyung, he exclaimed, practically bouncing in place. I got nominated for Best Actor. And the series is getting a second season, only if I come back. Jinyoung's face broke into the widest smile Seojun had seen in months. He pulled him into a tight hug, lifting him slightly off the floor. That's incredible, Jinyoung said, pride shining in his eyes. You deserve it more than anyone. Seojun laughed into his shoulder, overwhelmed. I can't believe this is happening today of all days. Jinyoung held his face gently. This is just the beginning. I'll support you through all of it, every award, every role, every season. Seojun's eyes softened. Then let's grow together. It was the final night of the year. Lights flooded the massive stage, washing the arena in gold and crimson as thousands of voices rose in a deafening cheer. Tonight, they weren't just performing. It was a special duet performance for the Music Award of the Year. The spotlight settled first on Jinyoung. The opening note left his lips soft and velvety, threading through the hall like a confession only the night could hear. The crowd quieted instinctively, caught in the gravity of his voice, then erupted again as the second spotlight bloomed. Seojun stepped forward. His movements were fluid, elegant, every line of his body flowing in perfect harmony with Jinyoung's tempo. Each beat, each turn, each breath was a conversation they had rehearsed in secret, a story only they truly understood. The arena roared. They felt it in their chests, the vibration of the crowd, the electricity in the air, the ache of everything they could not say. For a heartbeat, their eyes met. No smiles too wide. No gestures too tender. Just a fleeting glance, packed with months of longing, promises, fear, and hope. Not yet. Today was not the day. Today was about shining, about standing in their own light, about showing the world who they were as artists, not lovers. And yet, for this small stolen moment, they were together anyway, two hearts beating in the same rhythm under 1,000 lights, holding on to the quiet certainty that one day, they wouldn't have to hide. That's it for today's video. This is the love hidden behind the screen. If you want more of Jinyoung and Seojun, then please like, share and subscribe. I'll write a sequel once I hit 100 likes on this story. Thank you.